It's Sunday, guys, which means it's been a week, and that also means that it's time for us to look at the charts and look at all of our positions and how they are doing 1 week later. And today we will be looking at Brent oil. We will also be looking at uranium, copper, and wheat. There is chapters in this video, so if there is some commodity that is simply not interesting for you, you can just skip it and go to the next one. All right, let's, without further ado, just dive in and see what is happening. And first off is, of course, oil. And if you've been following my channel, then you already know that we are in a double position in Brent oil, and we are short, and we are having quite a scare since OPEC Plus decided to manipulate the market. It's this move here, and after that, it is basically just sideways. Last week, I told you that, well, we really don't want price to move above basically this last high, because, well, two ways to you have this $100 psychological level that we absolutely do not want to break and establish ourselves above, and also we have this cloud that worked as a resistance, and now, as you can see, slowly but surely we are trying to break through it, but we are still holding, and this level here is still holding, so we haven't broken it. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to give this another week to see what is gonna happen to this. And as I said last week, this is we are in a position where we probably are looking at ending this short position, but not just yet, because it's still sideways. We don't have this clear. No, we have a new wave pattern. It's broken, and we need to exit it and take whatever gains we have off the table. So we just gonna sit back and give this another week. But what we don't want to see, if we see this during the week, then just end your position. Pretty much, as we do not want to break the 100 barrier, and we do not want to get a new higher high and then a lower higher low. So Brent, watch it, but sit tight, because since last week we've just done a sideways move, so it doesn't tell us much. All right, with that said, let's continue down to uranium, and uranium is a long position for us, and it is going really good. We entered here, it went slightly against us, and now we have this beautiful move just as it's supposed to. We have up and down and up and down, and now we are looking for a new higher low. And as you can see here, we are starting to get into position for a potential reversal and continuation up and above. We have these Fibonacci retracement levels. We are getting down to those, but we can go all the way down here basically without even that's not a problem for us. And also you have this fat, beautiful resistance cloud that will help keep the price above our levels. So uranium is going good. It is a long position, and the time frame is very long. So that's about it. Let's move on to copper. And then we had this in copper. As you can see, we entered here, and then the copper went completely against us, and all of the time, every single week, I was talking about this is not a problem. This is not a problem, because copper is a long play. Copper is once the world is back on track, then so will the copper price recover. And now, as you remember, last week, we have new inflation numbers that are going down in the United States, which the S&P 500 answered to that very beautifully. And this is probably the result we are seeing of that also. People are starting to perhaps believe more and more that the bottom is in, and we are now looking for a recovery of the world's economy. And I do some videos about the S&P 500 as well, and in those videos I also talk about that. Yes, it does look very nicely that we are in a recovery, but when it comes to copper, every single week I also tell you guys that we are not looking at the daily for copper. We are actually looking at the monthly. So this is a very long play, and here you have the explanation to why this is happening. You have this expansive move and then the retracement, and the retracement was smack in the middle. We had a slowdown, and we are getting closer and closer to the cloud, and this is the result you see. Now, I wasn't expecting this kind of result, because this is slightly, for me, this is a bit extreme. I don't like this kind of moves, massive moves, because usually that's like, it's too much. So I would rather have a slow move up. But again, for copper, as you can see, all the way down here in February, we had similar moves. So this is not completely unusual. It's just, for me, I don't like the bigger this type of moves. I rather prefer smaller ones. So I have the chance to think things through, basically. But copper is looking good, and we are in a nice long position, and we need to establish ourselves above the cloud now. We need to see that this move is not just a freak move. So I really want to see in the couple of months now that we have a slow and steady uptrend starting to build up. And if we see that, then perhaps it is even a possibility to double down on this position and add to our position. So copper is looking very good. And lastly, we have wheat. And of course, we are not going to do monthly on wheat. We are just going to switch to daily charts. And there we go. Now, wheat is not looking as good. Actually, I'm rather worried about wheat, and let me explain why. We did enter this position early, rather early. Already here in the middle of the resistance cloud, I pulled the trigger. I was expecting a retracement, which we got here, and this is fine. We started to move up again, but then we got this move, and in relation to this expansive move, the retracement here is starting to run away from us. It is, you can see the Fibonacci retracement levels. We are slightly below the last level. So this is starting to look not good. I want to see the next week. I want to see either we get sideways action or we started climbing back. But even if we do climb back, we're still going to watch this very carefully, because once we climb back, if that happens, we want to take out this new lower high. Otherwise, I'm starting to believe that maybe we're going to continue down. So for the upcoming week in wheat, either we want to see some sideways action, or we want to continue up and take out this level. We want to set a new higher high, basically, and then possibly even take out this level. What we don't want to see is a slight uptrend that then continue to break down. Because if we see that, then just take whatever losses you have, because I will most likely do that. I will just close this position. Then I'm just completely wrong, and I am not in sync with this chart. So this is going to be interesting. We're still at the level, so don't panic, but just let's watch this one closely. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this week's update, and I don't know, leave a comment, subscribe, and all of that stuff. Cheers.